What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here, the RTS Mobile Game, bringing you a fantastic video today. In today's video, we are playing Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and we are going to go through the 9 of my key commanders that I love playing with on the evil side, with the backdrop of some Witch King burninating the enemies. So, we will be going through 3 Tier 1, 3 Tier 2, and 3 Tier 3 commanders with some quick battle reports and some surface level discussions. If you want more detail, make sure you check out my commander spotlights for each of these commanders. So up first, here comes the Tier 1 Commander. Give me the luck and sub. First we have Kaldun, courtesy of Bad Luck. Kaldun here with enormous damage output from his Halberdier build. He's also running some Cavalry and Corsairs to mix up the damage types. The Corsairs are, as you can see in the report, able to kill the Oathbreakers, which are immune to physical, and the Halberdiers absolutely decimate the Cavalry. So overall, Khaldoon is a very strong Tier 1 commander who has much strength in evil men units, okay? So do not discount him. He's one of the starting commanders. Very, very, very strong. All right, and the next commander we're going to talk about is going to be Grima. This is my free-to-play report here. Grima absolutely dominates the enemy. Her madness, or I guess his madness, proc, guaranteed madness on some of the enemy units, does a fantastic job of decimating the enemy ranks, okay? So I did suffer some damage here, but madness was a big friend, and I am running primarily a mixed damage type build, focusing on Reapers. Reapers have great damage late in the fight, which overlaps with some of the madness procs from Grima, okay? And then finally, my favorite Tier 1 commander for the evil factions here, Agzok. You saw my duel against Stabbo the other day. Shout out to Stabbo. Agzok absolutely can put out the DPS. In this particular build, he's running with Fellbeast. It is a great army for Agzok because they're extremely tanky. However, if you're fighting elves or other units with a ton of archers, they are vulnerable. All in all, Agzok does enormous damage over 10 rounds. He's not quite as bursty as Lurtz, but he's a little bit more consistent, sustained damage. Okay, I would definitely recommend, from a PvP standpoint, Agzok. Really, all 3 of these commanders are fantastic. I love Agzok, but Grima, it seems to be the most fun. So, into the Tier 2, here is Khamul against Gandalf the Grey, courtesy of Bad Luck. This is a primarily Alchemist and Halberdier build. Okay, Khamul does great damage. As you know, Gandalf is extremely overpowered and performs stun for the first 3 rounds against 2 enemy units, which is why you see Khamul's damage a little bit low here. But I felt like this was a good comparison. So again, the Alchemists and the Halberdiers with big damage output from Khamul, even with the enormous amount of crowd control that Gandalf provides. Absolutely astronomical how much CC Gandalf provides, okay? Next report is Bad Luck, again here with Gothmog against Eowyn from Sky. Gothmog is extremely strong. You can see here good output of the damage, extremely bursty and nuky from the Alchemist build. He does have the Respect 3 talent, which enables Alchemists 60% of the time to deal their max damage, which is enormous, okay? With some taunt trolls to tank in front, Gothmog can be extremely useful. Against Eowyn, who typically does quite a bit of healing and has an enormous front-loaded DPS, that is a pretty good output. Next is going to be Lurtz. He is my absolute favorite Tier 2 commander here in the game. I love him so much. This is a Fellbeast and Corsair build, not the Mamakill build you've seen me run with so often. I felt like this was a good way to mix it up because so often do we fight counters to the Mama Kills nowadays. So, Fellbeasts are great because they're anti-physical. Corsairs are great. They mix up the damage type, and overall, Lurtz is able to put out the DPS against his twin from the good side, Legolas, which is another massive single-target commander, Pewage, okay? And we're actually looking at Lurtz's combat live here against Arwen with the Fellbeast build. The next report we're going to look at here is going to be Sauron. Now, typically, I have been against Sauron. However, they recently fixed him in the recent patch, and they made his overload damage a pursuit type, okay? So Sauron here with the Orcs. I'm running Orc gear. The Reapers are extremely high damage. The Arbalests also do decent damage, and you can see here, Sauron, now that he can bypass avoidance with his overload ability, does pretty good damage as well. So I am now moving Sauron into my top 3 Tier 3 PvP commanders, okay? Do not discount him. Like I said previously, my review is based on pre-buff, right? He didn't have the anti-avoidance abilities, which were fantastic. The next commander we're going to talk about here is going to be Kirun. I love Kirun. Make sure you check out the hero spotlight for Kirun. He is absolutely godly in this video. We are talking about a Halberdier and Corsair damage type, okay? I have a good bit of damage coming out with the Corsairs and the Halberdiers, and tons of tankiness coming from both Kirun's abilities himself, his massive stuns, his healing, and then the Dragoon's ability to reduce the range damage taken from those Bone Knights, okay? Kirun is absolutely enormously powerful. One of the strongest commanders PvP-wise in the game, because he can almost always force a draw, and he usually comes out slightly on top of the draw. Okay, and here we go. The Witch King is up last. My #1 favorite PvP commander for the evil factions here against Aragorn 2, the King of Men. This is the Tier 3 version of Aragorn. This is Lalin's Aragorn. He is extremely decked out, very geared, very high respect. Shout out to Lalin, always a great combatant, but the Witch King counters him hard, and here I'm running the Alchemist build, which is massive nukes in rounds 1 and 2. You can see between 80 to 150,000 damage nukes in rounds 1 and 2, which is exactly what happened here. He almost did no damage to me, okay? So, give me the like and sub. I love you guys a long time. I didn't go into too much detail. I didn't want this to be a 45-minute video, but like and sub. Check out the commander spotlights individually. And if I have more requests, I can go into more detail on some of these. Just post in the comments below. All right. Love you guys a long time. Randy out, baby.